All right, friends, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing really well on this beautiful morning. Again, my name is Miss Ellie, and these are Worry-Free Wednesdays with Miss Ellie. Every week, I'm going to be providing some education on the Safe Care program, as well as leaving you guys with some tangible tips and activities that you can take home to your families. Today, I really wanted to focus on the health module. Excuse me one sec. There we go. So today I really wanted to just explore some of the goals of the health module, some of the education that we would provide the families during this module, and again, leave you guys with some good tips and some fun activities that you can take home to be able to explore learning. If you guys have any questions at all during this presentation, feel free to private message in the chat. So I wanted to start off just by talking about some of the main goals of this module. Really, some of the things we're really focused on helping parents make these informed health decisions when it comes to their child being sick or injured. We're going to help teach them a very specific decision-making process so that they can respond appropriately in these various situations. So tracking health records. As a part of our education, we're going to show you guys easy ways to be able to track your child's health by identifying symptoms and recording any recommendations or notes that you receive from your child's doctor, as well as any type of medication that they might have to take. These moments tend to cause us the most anxiety when our children are sick or injured or something is different and noticeably different about them. Sometimes it can get us in an emotional state. And so keeping health records is really a great tool so that you can refer back to it as your child grows and changes. Another thing that we support a lot with is medical supplies. As a part of this module, we're going to provide each family with a first aid kit that contains basic medical supplies. We're also going to provide a lot of education so that you know how and when to utilize each item in your kit. A little example of this is taking a temperature. This doesn't seem like a taboo subject, but taking a temperature can be administered in multiple different ways. And so helping you figure out whether it needs to be administered orally, rectally, under the armpit, and what does that mean? Another great example, a rectal temperature, you have to add 1 point. So a normal rectal temperature is actually 99.6 versus the oral, which is 98.6. So some of these little caveats, we're able to provide a lot of clarification for you all during this. Another thing we're going to help you do and empower you to do is understand your child's symptoms, understanding where they came from, what happened, and then being able to plan your next steps that are best for your child's health. So really one of the main components of this, and a lot of time that we spend, is on prevention. We want to provide a ton of education to you on things like bathing, general hygiene, brushing your teeth, taking care of your nails, lots of information on safe sleep. All of this, the goal here is to really help you prevent your child from hurting themselves or becoming ill. Now we know that this is not really a possible thing. Children are going to get into things and there will be accidents, but having the parent feel empowered and the most prepared that they can feel really does help in these moments when we feel tested. Make sure I don't see anything in the chat. Okay. So another main component of the health module is going to be talking about things like nutrition and staying healthy. A healthy diet is definitely something that gives your body all that it needs. But nutrition needs really differ with age. And we're going to provide education on that with specific resources so you know what is appropriate nutrition from your child from 0 to 5, essentially. A fun example of this is going over food groups and providing education in relation to this. The health module is really going to help you track your child's health and diet as they try to eat new things, as their diet grows and explores. We're going to provide feeding tips as well as education on food groups and overall nutrition so that you feel empowered to be able to provide the correct meals to your child. Over here on the left, I provided a quick little example of a chart. Now this is for a typical adult who consumes around 2,000 calories a day. Now it shows here the different food groups, everywhere from vegetables, fruits, grains, dairies, and protein. One little example that I like to provide is for a typical adult, someone like myself, I want to be having around 2.5 to 3 cups of vegetables and fruit every day. For a toddler, they only need about 3 to 4 tablespoons of fruit and vegetables every day. So just a good example of portion size and how that changes with age. So parenting and food. I just quickly wanted to provide some education on how food can look a lot different, like I said, depending on the age of the child. Now, a 2-month-old, feeding them is going to look very different from feeding your child at 2 years old. We're going to provide tips for you specifically as your child grows and goes through those developmental stages. One example I really just wanted to hit is things like honey. At the age of 2 months, that is very unsafe. A child under the age of 1 should not be ingesting honey or peanut butter. Now, I find that funny because most 2-year-olds, peanut butter is the only way that we can get them to get their protein in the diet. So I just thought that was a great example of how these little caveats, things can really change as the child grows and their age changes. We're going to get to questions. So quickly, I just wanted to provide a little video that kind of sums up everything I talked about in relation to nutrition, as well as provide a great resource that you guys as parents, as community members can take home with you and share with friends and family.
Parents are often worried about getting the variety that they need to get in. A great way to track that would be to go to choosemyplate.gov. In that, they have the My Plate diagram that you can utilize to give you and remind you of the different food groups that you need to try to make certain that your kids get in at each meal. You'll notice that there's fruits and vegetables, which take up half of the plate, protein, whole grains, and dairy. That way you're getting the variety, and when you get that variety, you get a variety of vitamins and minerals that your kids need to be healthy. The other item to remember is that variety is important, moderation is important, but getting that amount, how much do they need? Go ahead and let your kids be their own barometer. Let them decide how much they want to eat. Just giving them those options and those choices is going to help them have a healthier tomorrow.
So I just love that resource. And I did notice that there was a fantastic question that came from the chat just regarding if a family is unable to afford fresh produce, because healthy foods can and tend to be the most expensive, especially organic produce. And so I definitely want to provide that resource, choosemyplate.org, and I will provide another link later on. This is a fantastic way for you to be able to explore ways that you can provide those food groups for your child on a budget, ways that you can get those certain vitamins into their diet without breaking the bank. So next up, we talked about nutrition for a little bit. One of the other main components of overall health is going to be exercise. Physical activity is definitely essential for helping a child maintain the best health and well-being overall. We're going to provide you a lot of education, how to help your child, how to help your infant develop those motor skills that are soon going to turn into activities like running and playing and jumping when they are at that walking age. So I wanted to provide some tangible examples of things that we would work on with families. For infants around 0 to 6 months, we would really encourage and help show you how to do stretching games, how big to be able to learn the child lifting and lowering their arms. We would also do this with their core strength, allowing them to sit up and sit back. These are just some great motor skills to learn in the infancy years. Somewhere between 6 and 12 months, we're really gonna start to encourage crawling with you. So we're gonna show you how to place the child just outside of the reach of their favorite toy to help them learn how to problem solve and crawl around to get to those things. We'll also show you ways to safely help them learn how to crawl stairs in different changing elevations. Now, children 12 months and up, this can become a lot more fun and a lot more complicated. We provide a lot of education as well as a lot of great examples that you can do at home, things like jumping games, rolling a ball, using all your different body parts so that they can really learn how to interact with their body and the world around them. So injuries. This tends to be something that is the most common when it comes to toddlers, and it can also be the most anxiety inducing when it comes to our caregivers. You cannot plan for an injury. It is definitely an accidental thing. The best thing that you can do is respond appropriately. And our goal here is really helping you as a parent take those strategic steps to seek out the right medical treatment for your child. We're going to empower you as well by giving you a ton of information, a health manual with step-by-step information on how to treat your child at home for those situations where it may not warrant a doctor's office, but it's serious enough that they need to be cared by you at home. In turn, we hope all of this empowers you so that you feel you're making the right decisions for your child. So talking about health with our kids, I really wanted to get to this point. We really talk about health in a lot of the ways that is useful to a caregiver. How do we start having this conversation with our children to get them to understand the importance of health without any fear related to that? So one great activity that you can do with your children is something where you can either purchase a doctor's kit. You can get these actually at Dollar Tree for very inexpensive. You don't have to break the bank to be able to provide these things. But giving them those specific items that they're going to see in the doctor's office is going to help them feel more calm in that environment with those objects. I wanted to provide an example of a fun little video showing all the different learning that can come from playing doctor, as well as the comfortability that will come along, so that when the child actually has to go visit the doctor's office, they're not going to be overwhelmed by the stimuli. They're going to remember the stethoscope and the things that they encountered in their play activity when it was in an environment that was much more controlled.
Saeed is pretending to be a vet. First, he puts on his doctor's coat. He listens to the horse's heart. Uh-oh, the pig is sick and needs to be checked out. Now it's the goat's turn. This is Saeed, and this is how he learns.
Like I said, just a really quick example, but it just showed all of the amazing opportunities with learning if you do provide some of those objects for them so that they can become more comfortable. Another idea for an activity that you can do at home to help teach your child about the importance of nutrition is helping your child learn to create a sample plate. So what you can do is help them learn about the different food groups and then allow them to explore that and pick their favorite foods from each food group. They can either draw it on their plate, which would only require you to have a paper plate and crayons, or if you've got an older kiddo who wants to be a little bit more creative, you can cut out photos that you find in magazines and put those on the plates as well. This is a great idea and a great activity for families to really sit down together and have discussions around overall health and general nutrition. This is a great resource, like I had said, choosemyplate.gov, excuse me, I think I said org earlier. This provides a ton of videos, songs, activities, anything that you want to take home to do with your kiddos to help them learn and grow when it comes to their own nutrition. I think this is a great resource that can really help. So now is the opportunity for questions. If you are interested in the Safe Care program in English, you can contact Ellie at this number or private message me on your information. ¿Estás interesado en el programa Safe Care? Para español, póngase en contacto con el CDA en aquí. So I want to take any time for any questions that we might have during this time.